Hello, and welcome back to the.universary. Today I have a series of small claims cases. They're all from the same business, which is Smart Z, versus a handful of defendants. And Smart Z is similar to errands or a rent-a-center, where you go and you rent to own various items. I always have a hard time with these businesses. It initially seems like a good deal because you can get a an entire apartment's worth of furniture all at once. But they often charge you weekly prices, not monthly. So you see that $10 per payment, but that's actually 4 or 5 times a month, not just once a month. And then the interest is outrageous. I remember looking at an errands one time for a college laptop that I needed to get. And when it came down to the bottom line, I would have been paying essentially for two laptops worth by the time I owned it. And at that point, it would have been outdated anyway. So I decided no. But people have limited options. So, no begrudging of using the service that exists, but it really sucks to see so many people struggle to make those payments and then end up in court. So, here are these cases. I hope you enjoy.
You are all here for a small claims proceeding. This is Judge Middleton. I'm at the courthouse in Centerville, and you're at your various locations. You've been sued by Z-Smart regarding some rent-to-own contracts in varying amounts. And we'll talk about each of your cases one at a time. As a defendant in a small claims proceeding, I need to tell you some things. There is no formal record being made of a landlord-tenant proceeding. Neither side is allowed to have an attorney. The claim is limited to $6,500, and there is no appeal from small claims court. If anybody wishes to change this and take it out of small claims into the civil division, where you could have a lawyer, you could sue for up to $25,000, you'd have a record, and you have a right to appeal. You have to tell me before we start. But once we finish, the case is completed and there is no appeal. Mr. Brous, do you understand that?
Yes.
Ms. Hayward?
Yes.
Ms. Enzel-Dua?
Yes.
And all right. Susan Keith is here from Z-Smart, known as Susie Keith. Would you please raise your hand, all of you? Do you all swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give here will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do. Yes.
All right, we're going to start with Mr. Brous's case. Ms. Keith, what's your position at Z-Smart?
Store manager.
You were store manager a lot of times. They just didn't give you that title.
Correct.
All right. Mr. Brous, the allegation is that you owe $3,906.83 on a rental contract.
Yes, and I tried to return several times, and they kept refusing to take it back, even before they looked at it. So I was told that their stock room was full because of all the returns that they've had. And so they probably wouldn't take it back. Then they come out and looked at it and said it's damaged, which is not broke or anything. It might need a minor cleaning. I got 8 kids, but other than that, it's no damage to it. It's not broke.
Is it in the house with you?
It is in the house with me.
Let me see it.
Hold on a minute. Let me turn on the light in this room.
It's a sectional and some coffee end tables. I know that they are reluctant to receive upholstered furniture. Miss Keith, what's the situation here? You did show me the couch.
Yeah, it's all stained up and there was cat scratches on the corner. When we went out there, Ryan went out there, he took pictures. There was a cushion cover missing.
All the cushion covers are out of it.
So you're saying you wouldn't be able to re-rent the property once it was recovered?
Correct. It's too stained up.
And the
I guess
reason
if you
why,
had 8 kids, I could
yes,
certainly understand how that would happen. So they don't wish to have the property returned. Well, what about the end tables?
I don't have them. I told them that. I do not have them. I wasn't here when everything else was picked up. I was not here, but the tables, as you can see in this room, there's a Christmas tree. Well, Christmas tree, a TV, a mine, a sectional, and a dresser. There is no tables. I don't have no end
What can you
tables.
tell us about that, Miss Keith?
We didn't pick up the tables. We picked up a dining room table. We didn't pick up any end tables. I don't know what happened to them, but we don't have them.
I don't have to. I don't have them.
Well, you own it now, Mr. Brous.
Uh, yeah, it'll have to go on my bankruptcy. That's what I'm fixing to file because I can't work.
All right.
I've got diagnosis of I can't remember the name of it. Well, I get dizzy, my eyes get blurry. I had COVID back in September, and I'm still having effects of COVID. I
All
got
right.
I got a 2.9 centimeter mass in my Doris 4X that has to be removed and biopsied to see if it's cancer.
Well, certainly you have a lot going on. If you do declare bankruptcy, you can include this as part of it. But I find for the defendant in the amount of 3,906, find for the plaintiff, excuse me, the amount of 3,906.83 plus court costs for serving and filing of 8350, 399,033. I would guess with 8 kids that would be stained. Mine made a mess enough with 3. But it's yours now. You're going to need to pay on it. If you put it as part of your bankruptcy, it could be discharged. But I did enter a judgment. They can't do anything for 21 days.
Okay.
After that, perhaps you could set up some sort of payment agreement or they can pursue collections. But it doesn't sound like you're working right now and
No, I'm
doing the
not.
best you can. All right. All right, you're free to go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. No 2 cases are exactly alike, but there are often a lot of similarities. Let's talk about Miss Hayward. This is Z-Smart versus Rebecca Hayward and Heather DeWitt. Miss Hayward, where is Miss DeWitt? Is she present?
She's sick.
All right. This is a claim for $1,675 for mattresses, and they don't take mattresses back. They're asking for $1,575 plus $100 in field visits. Is that correct, Miss Keith?
Yes, it is.
Miss Hayward, what do you say to that?
I can start making $75 payments every 2 weeks starting tomorrow.
All right. Tomorrow is September 19th,
Yes.
December 19th. Is that acceptable to you, Ms. Keith?
Yes.
All right, I'll show it as a consent and a default as to Heather. $1,675.48, $77 in filing fees, $66.73 in service fees, payable in installments of $75 bi-weekly, starting 12/19/23. Make the payments directly to Z-Smart. Make sure you get a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
The mattresses are yours. And now your payment is going to be $75 bi-weekly. Where are you working?
I'm not working right now. I have a friend that's going to help me pay every 2 weeks that's working. I just lost my husband in September.
I'm sorry. That's $1,819.21, payable at $75 bi-weekly. All right, that'll be $150 a month approximately. It may take a year and a half or more to pay for this, but it will get paid. Ms. Hayward, do you have any questions?
Nope.
All right, you're good to go. Thank you. I'll send you that judgment. Make your first payment tomorrow.
Okay.
Next is Z-Smart versus Nicole Enzel-Dua. The file number is 231652. This is a claim for $1,625.74. Very similar to the last case. It has to do with mattresses. The balance is very nearly the same with a $100 field visit. Ms. Enzel-Dua, what's your position here?
I can start paying the beginning of the year 50 every 2 weeks.
$50 every 2 weeks?
Yeah, what I get is every 2 weeks.
All right, is that acceptable to you, Susie?
Yes.
Mattresses are quite common in these cases because they don't accept them as return. Your case is very similar to the last one. All right, defendant consents to 162574. Court costs are $63.50 for a total of $168924. See judgment. Payable $50 bi-weekly, which is $100 a month, which would take about 17 months to pay this off. You can pay more if you wish, and we'll start this January 3rd. Show it as a consent. All right, the mattresses are yours. The payment plan is $50 bi-weekly until it's paid. Same thing, make sure you get a receipt and they'll be yours, and there's no more rent-to-own contract. There's a judgment. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you. You're good to go.
Thank you.
All right, Susie, we have 3 more cases to do. Next is Z-Smart versus Sean Coleman. File number is 231651. He lives in a camper at the HOA campground in Middlebury, but he was served by Sergeant Morse. Has anything been paid on this?
No.
Show a default. 195761 8350 and 5152. There were extra service charges here. A total of $2,092.63 by default. I don't know where to send this. The address we have is Marlene Drive. I'm not sure how we send it to the campground, but
The Marlene Drive is his sister's address, and she told me that's his mailing address.
all right. Her name is Veronica.
Yep. Veronica Hodges.
You can call me anything you like, but my name is Veronica. All right, thank you. Let's do our next one. Getting a little loopy here. Z-Smart versus Caitlin Flanagan and Ethan Flanagan. The file number is 231649. This is a PlayStation 5, and I don't know. I understand renting mattresses or washers or dryers, but people can't live without a PlayStation. They can't find it. They can't return it. You're asking for $13.75 plus field visits. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Fine by default. They owe $1,475.67, $77 in cost for a total of $1,552.67. Did you go to Sturgis and then come back again, Tim?
No, sir.
Okay. There was a question on Jeopardy last week as to who is the father who started Boys Town. And they gave the wrong answer. And the next person said it was Flanagan. So maybe they're related. I have 2 more to do. I did have 7. Z-Smart versus Donnay Macky. We had Adrian Trinidad also, but we don't have service on him. This is a large claim of $6,500 for living room, dining room. The balance actually exceeds $6,500. Are you going to ask for a default as to Donnay Macky only?
Yes. Dijonay.
Oh, Dijonay. Yes, it is. I'm sorry.
I think that's what it is. Dijonay.
Yes, I think it is too. All right, $6,500, the current statutory maximum of small claims, plus costs is a total of $6,686.44 by default. As to Dijonay Macky only. All right, we got 4 minutes to go. And we're gonna make it. Z-Smart versus Nikki Reardon. File number is 231609. This is a claim for $1,198. We have certified mail service. She is not here. This is a laptop computer that has not been recovered or paid for. Are you going to ask for a default?
Yes, please.
No payments made?
No, sir.
The default is in the amount pled for $1,198.66 plus court costs of $63.50 for a total of $1,262.16. All right, Susie, that's all 7 cases that you had for today, mostly consents or defaults. Merry Christmas. I'll see you next year with a new batch of cases unless everybody pays. And you won't have to come. All right, okay. Thank you. See you
Thank
next
you.
year.
Merry Christmas.
You too, thank you.
Thank you.